to Relics Radio, your favorite weekly podcast dedicated to the metal detecting and treasure hunting community. Here are your hosts, Ken from Adventures in Dirt and Tony from 5280 Adventures.
Hey, welcome to another Thursday night Relics Radio. Good to see everyone. DK here from Adventures in Dirt, coming to you live on a Thursday night from Northern Colorado. Boy, I tell you what, we got a great show ready for you tonight. I can't wait to talk to our guest tonight. But first, I got to bring in my co-host. You know him as Mr. 5280 Adventures. Tony, how are you doing, bud?
Good morning, boy. Am I happy to see you? Jeez. Yeah. It's been a while. We hung out last weekend, right?
Yeah. Had a great day. Yeah.
We did some digging.
Yeah, kind of a new area, prospected some really good prospects for some future permissions.
Yeah. Some fun stories with that. I mean, you know, what I learned the most, not what I learned the most, but what we practiced the most, you got to door knock. You got to get on a private.
Yeah,
the public is great, but man, I tell you, the opportunity with this private that we might have coming up,
you
good.
do. You got to do it. And it always lead into
knock.
more, and even on large farmlands and stuff. Even feel free to stop and talk to those farmers, man. Definitely, because it could lead into the neighbors and more acreage and more acreage. So
the Smiths know the Andersons know the Joneses, and they all have homesteads on their property. So get out and door knock. And we talked. We got to bring them apple pie. Beer on the. Hey, what did I do? Remember, we had a guest on. What did I do when we knocked on the door?
Take your hat off.
I took my hat off right away.
Back off the porch.
Oh my gosh, the lady was so nice too.
She was so nice. She's like 80-something years old. And, she was remote. We're in a remote area. She gets no guests. She gets no one knocking on the door. We had to drive about a quarter mile into their ranch. So, I'm surprised she didn't hear us coming down the road. But
I know.
She come up and answer the door and just didn't know what to make of us two. I'll tell you that. But
what a great opportunity. And hopefully we get some good stuff from it. And with that, we'll both have some really good videos coming out on the channels.
That's right.
Yep.
Cool, man. Yeah. Weather was nice. So we got out. Who's all joining us tonight? We got some people.
Man, the chat is absolutely crazy right now. We got Detector joined us real early and he was talking to himself there for a while. But
what's up, buddy?
Detector, good to have you on. Mr. Larry Stevens.
Hello, Larry.
Yeah. Let's see. As usual, Bill Hayes.
How you doing, Bill? Good to see you.
Yep. Wanted to point out Relic Jedi says first time listening and joining. Relic Jedi, man. Thanks for coming on. Look at that. Is that a Dragoon?
It sure is a Dragoon button. Look at that.
Shoot.
You're welcome. You're one of us. Welcome. Come right in.
That's right.
Home runs like that. Jeez.
All right. Dropped and forgotten. I had put in the chat, make sure you guys grab your popcorn and your beer. Mark Thomas comes in strong with some popcorn and beer. Look at that.
Make sure you share, Mark. Make sure you share with everybody.
Copper Joe in the house.
Copper Joe.
Nice. Detecting 307.
Good to see you. Welcome. Robert Thompson. Hey, Robert, how are you, man? Good to see you. Welcome. Check out, who's here. Look at this. Dun, dun, dun. Mandy's Candy. Now, who is Mandy's Candy?
I was chatting with Mandy a little bit today, kind of on some my videos that come out and stuff like that, and she was making some comments. So, great lady. Mandy loves our show now because she won a Vortex VX9 from us. Look at that.
She sure did. Mandy, you got to make sure you let us know when you get that. I know Steve's in possession of it and in possession of your contact information. So he hopefully has reached out to you, and if not, will soon or let us know. Workman's Adventures, good to see you, man. Don't know if I've seen you on here before, so welcome. Yeah,
come on.
Grandma Kelly's Clean Life and Clean Living. I love that.
Look at that.
I've been looking forward to tonight. All day. I think it's going to be a fun show. Got some great guests on with us.
We're only going to be on for an hour and a half, but we've got enough content for 1.5 days straight, probably.
This won't be the only time.
We have a lot to talk about.
Yeah, we do.
Before we get to that, let's talk about who's sponsoring our podcast tonight. Nick from Nick's Custom Laser Engraving. Check these out. We've got some hats going on. Head over to Nick's custom laser engraving over on Facebook. We've got Christmas ornaments. We've got hats. We've got cutting boards. Pretty much anything that you guys can come up with. Coasters. Nick does a fantastic job. Head over to Nick's custom laser engraving over on Facebook. Link is down on the chat. Tell him that 5280 sent you. Tell him that Relics Radio sent you, and he'll take care of you with anything that you need.
You know, what's funny is I was looking around the internet, just on Facebook and some other things, and I saw some of his handiwork on other channels and other.
Did you really?
I sure did. And I was
he made hats for Brad.
For Brad, that's exactly what I
Brad
saw.
has
they had
hats,
a big whatnot thing, and I was like, hey, that looks
look at that. Nick's awesome. Absolutely. He'll hook you up.
You got a brand new laser recently too, and he's itching to use it.
My gosh.
You see that thing? He sent me a video.
He's able to do those like those Stanley cooler or Stanley cups or whatever, because it's rounded mugs. He was able to do those now, and he stepped up his game. He's doing really well. We appreciate Nick for taking care of us over here at Relics Radio.
That's right. Thanks, Nick. Hey, let's bring our guests on, man. Let's get going.
Yeah, I'm anxious. You guys ready?
Road. Let's go.
All right, let's do it. We are blessed. Thursday, we've got the Shank is intact, guys.
What's going on?
Patrick and Joe, thanks for coming on with us tonight, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Hey, and introduce yourselves for the audio, so people can understand from your voices who's talking. Go ahead, Patrick.
I'm Joe.
Well,
Joe.
Go ahead first. Go ahead first, Joe.
I'm Joe.
Okay.
Where are you from?
I'm from King George, Virginia.
Okay.
Yep. And I'm Patrick Connors. I'm from Spotsylvania, Virginia.
There you go. Well,
Nice.
Welcome, guys. Glad you could join us tonight.
Yeah, we're happy to be here.
Yeah.
So excited.
You guys have the YouTube channel, The Shank is Intact.
Correct.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Love it.
We're up to
love that name.
973 subscribers.
How many?
It's 973 as of 2 seconds ago.
There you go.
We're gonna get you to 1,000
Let's get
tonight.
you-
Woo! That'd be amazing. That was my goal for the end of the year. Was to get us to 1,000.
Let's
This
go.
time last year we were at like 550. So
Tony
Nice,
just
that's
posted
good,
the
bro.
link in the chat. So if you're in the chat and you're not subbed to the channel, go check it out, man. They're digging in Virginia. They're finding all kinds of Civil War items. We're going to let them talk to you all about it. But it's really exciting. You go watch some of those videos. You just get such an itch. Tony and I were talking about it earlier. We're like,
Oh my
man,
god.
we gotta stop doing these type of shows because we get so excited, man. We just want to go get on a plane and fly to Virginia and do some digging.
oh yeah, you should.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. We got a couple spots.
Yeah.
Let us know when you're out here.
Yeah, shoot. There's another invite we got, Tony.
Right.
We need to retire already, man, so we can hit the road.
I hear you. Well, we can definitely head out your way. We've got you've got DIV going on this weekend, right? DIV 58.
Yep.
Close to where you guys are at.
Tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow
Yep.
morning.
30
Hey,
How
minutes.
many?
Go ahead.
Go ahead,
Tony.
DK.
I was going to say, why don't you? There may be people listening to the audio podcast or even watching the stream right now that don't know what we're talking about when we.
Okay,
come to
so
the
DIV is short for is an acronym, I guess, for Digging in Virginia, and so that is run by John and Rose Kendrick, and it is a great digging club because it's like a family, and so everybody's happy to see everybody, and everybody helps each other with their machines, and we get to dig Civil War on some of the nicest properties that you could ever dream to dig on in that red dirt, which is not easy to dig in, but it's fun when you with people you know. So it's a good time. So it's a paid event. Is what I'm
paid event, and it's kind of invited, right? You have
Yeah,
to-
it's an invitational
lottery or something.
Yes, and it's based on, like, you know, if you've been, you know, some guys have been, you know, there's still guys. I met a guy yesterday who I think the third one was his first one. So I think that was 2005 was his first one, and I was like, wow, he had some stories to tell.
But you can't just pay your money and go, right? Like you got to go on the website.
You
and
have to join the group.
You got to join the
register.
website, and then you got to be quick to sign up. And then, you know, sometimes depending on the size of the hunt or where they're going, it's you know, roughly they'll just pick who they, you know, they pick the names they have been before.
Yeah,
It's kind of like that. But sometimes new properties open, like DIV 50 was your first one.
Yes.
And I think there had to have been over 400 or 500 people there. So they kind of wide opened it for their anniversary because it was 4 or 5 properties. And it had to have been over 6,000 acres. I mean, we remember we went out on our first day and we realized within an hour we couldn't see anyone.
Yeah.
There was just no one anywhere.
By yourself.
That's how big the, you know, big
Wow.
the is. But
Sounds like
Yeah,
England.
tomorrow
man.
morning we'll be leaving like 6 a.m. We'll be headed west.
Nice.
Gonna be a good time.
Wow.
How
So
many?
you guys
How
are-
many these have you been to? How many DIVs have you guys each been to?
This will be my 5th.
And this will be my 9th in a row.
Oh my gosh.
Yep, I've
Jeez.
been, the last time to Brandy Rock was my first one. So, and now that is
Okay.
no longer diggable because it went into the Civil War Trust easement. So, but at least it's protected forever and it won't be full of
Right.
costs.
Yeah.
There you
So,
go. Right.
That's
That's
good.
important.
That's
thing
good.
about
That's what
that.
makes
Yeah.
we're happy about that. So, at least
It's
that's-
a little addictive, it sounds like.
oh gosh, it's
Just a
awesome.
little. Just
Yeah,
a
you
little.
can't see this is just 4 years.
Before we got on camera, you showed me a lot more. And in a minute, I'm going to ask you to do that again. Because
I will. I
there's,
will. I will
there's
be
a lot
happy
of
to.
stuff going on there. I've been to one by the graces of Matt Howe, and had
You
a
said that was that
blast.
was 52.
52, I think, was Cole Hill. 51 or 52, I can't remember. But
Yeah, Cole.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Matt's a great guy.
The view. Yeah,
Sure
Matt Howell, right? You're
Yeah,
talking about Matt
Matt
Howell
Howell.
Yep.
of Gone Digging.
Yep.
Yeah, great guy.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, that's who
hooked-
put us in contact with you. So,
Oh, is that right? Oh, good. Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
He really walked me through that because it's the first time I had swung a large PI machine, a GPX,
Oh.
and he helped me set it up, and it was the first time me swinging it, man. I had a blast
Yeah.
out
It's
there
a
with
beast
him and
of
his
a
buddies.
machine.
He's got a good group of guys around him. So.
There's a learning curve with it, but it's amazing in the red dirt.
By the
Right.
second day, I could pick out 3 ringers, I think, but I would get fooled by the nail heads every now and then.
oh yeah, bent nail
I
sounds
bet
just like a
nail will
bullet.
sound great.
Oh. But the coil I use, we're digging bullets sometimes 20 inches deep, and it's not easy in that red dirt. But
It's crazy.
Wow.
What are
Gotta
you
say-
swinging? What kind of PI machine are you swinging, Patrick? I'll ask you the same thing, Joe.
I'm using the MindLab GPX 4500, and my favorite coil is the 15-inch Ultimate Spiral from DTEC.
Oh.
And it makes the entire machine with I use the large battery and I swing it on the side because I like to be able to set my machine down, take my headphones off, and be completely detached from the machine, like to get in the hole. And so altogether, my
Mhm.
machine weighs about 17 pounds, and it's pretty big to be swinging all day. But I use a rubber cord
Use
to
that.
help
Yeah.
once
Yeah.
my shoulder can't take it.
I was going to say your right shoulder doesn't look any larger than your left shoulder.
But able to sit it up.
So.
But I do all the digging with just this arm, so
I got it.
it
There you
equals
go.
out.
Equals out.
And what do you got, Joe?
I got a
swinging?
MindLab GPX 5000.
Mm.
Yep, I use
Nice.
I actually use the stock, the factory coil.
And he kills it.
Yeah, I mean, I do pretty well with it, but I've got a bum shoulder, so I tried the 15-inch, but it was just too much for me. So
Yeah.
so
And do you use a sling as well?
no,
His machine with just the stock coil, it actually makes it about 7 pounds lighter.
Yeah.
So it's only about 10 pounds. And the way the handles are on it, it actually they're pretty balanced. You can actually hold them with one finger and they kind of
balances
sway right
out.
on
Yeah.
Sure.
Wow.
Nice balance.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
Yeah.
we can detect airplanes.
I just thought that
Yeah,
was-
yeah.
You can actually here, let me say this. You can't have your pinpointer or cell phone in the front of you. It will hear it every single swing. You can't be near power lines too close, or you have to tune it out, tune other people out. If an MXT or MTX machine, gosh, I always get it backwards, but if that comes anywhere near you, you can really hear them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But because they can really pick up the EMI, can be really bad.
Yeah.
Powerful machines.
It is.
Yeah.
They got to tell the planes to go around. Go around.
Yeah.
Don't fly over the
fly
field.
zone.
We probably
over
should be
DIV.
our hats should probably be lead lined, probably for sure. But
Yeah, I remember in 50 at DIV 52, it was a really big deal because on day 2 they actually were doing work and they shut the power lines down that no one had ever been able to hunt around them because they had always been on, and for some reason
Yeah.
utilities shut those power lines down, so everyone was flooded over there
To that area.
underneath them
Yeah.
power lines, just sort of, I guess, probably north of the urinal areas over there. But yeah, they were digging pits and all kinds of stuff down there because they
Oh,
started
yeah.
getting all kinds of hits.
I was still quite new to the
Yeah.
red dirt then.
Yep.
So what's the dirt like in Culpeper versus where you guys live? Is it still very mineralized where you guys live?
Culpeper it depends on where you're at in Culpeper, but it's pretty much anywhere in the red dirt is kind of mineralized. But where I'm at in Spotsylvania, it's up and down. It can be good, it can be bad. If you're in the woods, if you're not dealing with a lot of roots, it's pretty good. But where Joe's at, gosh,
sandy.
King George is pretty
sandy,
it's,
soft.
it's mid to sandy, but
Yeah.
getting out to like where we dig a lot of stuff in the northern neck area,
Yeah.
it is just, I mean, it's like digging in sugar. Some places you can, if it's dry enough, you can take a scoop and then just pour it off your shovel. It's kind of amazing. But we need, we prefer to have the moisture though in the ground because we do notice a depth change with that.
Sure.
No, we love that sandy soil, don't we, Tony?
Yeah, I know. We were just up in the area we were in, kind of that same thing, that sandy soil. Yeah. And I mean, our ground freeze is real solid here in Colorado for pretty deep. And we're getting pretty close to that time right now. And we were digging last weekend, didn't have any issues. Right in, you get through that first layer about an inch, and then it was right into that sand, and it was beautiful. It was made it so nice. It was great.
When our ground freezes here, we move into the woods usually. And the woods stay with the leaf, as long as there's not a heavy snow cover, the leaves, it just stays pretty thawed out.
Yeah. Hey, Joe, in that sandy soil, does it do a pretty good job of protecting the relics?
Yo, yeah.
They come out beautiful.
Oh yeah. I've dug
as long as they're not hit by a plow.
Yeah.
Like your 2
I dug on one of our more current permissions that we have. It was the last time for last year.
The last time last year before they the landowner let us know they had planted.
Yeah, we went out, and my first signal of the morning was a half real, and my whole day was made. I thought there's no way I'm going to top that, and then my last signal of the day was a full 2 real that was hold. But it got hit by a plow, so it was kind of tacoed. But I just left it. Still amazing. Still amazing. The detail on it.
Oh man.
Just phenomenal. I mean, both sides, the detail was just amazing.
Shoot.
That's great.
You'll see the video. I got to see it first because I grabbed it, because sometimes Joe, if he's not looking right at it, he might not see it right away. So I snatched it and I stand up and I'm like, Joe. I didn't let him look at it for like 2 minutes because I was just so shocked because of what I was about to hand him.
Yeah.
I had goosebumps for like an hour. That's crazy history.
How long you been detecting, guys? You're pretty much born that way in Virginia, right? Like then when you come out, they shove a detector in your hand.
I mean, I can tell you when I remember getting some type of detector when I was a kid, but for some reason it's just not something I got into until much later. So I'm just going into my, this will be my 5th year going into next year. So I'm pretty new to it when it comes to the hobby. And I started with a what did I have? A Ace 400 I got for Christmas and so December 28th, 2019 was my first day detecting.
How about you, Joe?
Haven't stopped since.
I'm a year behind Patrick. I'm going on my 4th. I'm in my 3rd year now, going on my 4th. I started off with the Ace 300 that I got for Father's Day, and quickly turned that into a Equinox 800, and then quickly went into a Deus 2.
Yeah, Deus 2. That's what he's using.
And that's what we both use the Deus 2 for our primaries now.
Yep.
What were your guys' motivations? So you get these metal detectors. Yeah. Why'd you want a metal detector, and kind of what pushed you in that direction?
Well, honestly, I can tell you, it's
hobby.
Kind of a funny story for me. Well, not funny, but kind of interesting, I guess. Well, I was doing gardening, and I started the hobby of gardening. And about 2 years in, I was on YouTube, typing away, looking for a way to keep down weeds between rows. And believe it or not, I stumbled across a video from this guy named Aqua Chigger, and he's showing you how to soak newspaper in a wheelbarrow and put it between your plant rows. I was like, wow, it's so interesting. Never thought of that. Might try it, might not. Let me subscribe to this guy. Little did I know that was the very last video he ever did about gardening. The next video was diving, and the next video was detecting. And about 2 months later, he was digging with me out in our woods here. And I'm actually in a video of his. That was my first time detecting before I got my own detector. He said, oh yeah, I'll come. We might find some. He found a canteen spout in the creek. What a great day.
What a great
so much
day.
Fun. I looked like such a newbie too. I had on I think it was was it like a Lowe's?
Yeah, Lowe's like a tool
thing, tool thing, and pants.
Yeah.
And I had on steel-toed boots, and he made fun of me because at least 2 times right away I was just my boots. Gosh, it was so funny.
I didn't think that meme was real, but it really
is.
Okay.
You don't go as deep as they say, but it is real.
Okay, well, good.
I had never used a pinpoint.
You would have if
I kept pushing, bringing the dirt out of the hole, and I'm using the pinpointer, never used one, and my boots are going off, and I had my wedding ring on, which, now I have a tattoo, so that it stays It stays at home safe. I don't lose it, and I don't keep hearing it in my hand.
Did you have the shirt on that said noob on it, or what?
I should have. I probably should still get one.
What motivated you, Joe? Was it just sort of Patrick and everyone else around doing it, or?
Well, no.
So we hadn't met. We
hadn't met at that time. I can't remember the name of the show, but KG and who was it? Ringy, I think was his leading partner. I used to love watching the show that they had, and I had just a kind of a plain TikTok page, and I was following KG, and I was watching his metal detecting and stuff like that, and I was like, man, I'd really like to get one. So my fiance bought me one, and then come to find out, after I started posting some videos, I see a comment on my page one day, and it's KG commenting, talking about like how I killed it and how it was a great dig. And I'm just like mesmerized because I was like, the guy I was watching like on TV a couple years ago,
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
We met through a mutual person.
This guy who was going to take us both digging, who just ended up not being able to go digging, was like, hey, you guys should like still just go dig, because you both like.
So he came over he came over to my house, and that was the first time I ever went out, and he was kind of giving me some pointers. You had the Equinox at the time, right?
Yep, Equinox 800.
He had the 800. I had the Ace 300, and he was just kind of showing me some lessons, and didn't find much. It was just some woods behind my house that I own, and a couple. I think I found my first horseshoe.
Right, and then the very next weekend, I said, you know what, Joe? I've got a spot where I've dug a lot of buttons, but there's this section of woods right off the field that I haven't touched. There's got to be stuff in it, and not an hour in, Joe finds his first button, and it's actually a lead pewter button, probably early 17, late 1600s, and Shank was intact.
Yeah.
And that was really before the channel even existed. Yeah. And it was just something I noticed every video I watched, whether it was Aqua Chigger, the Hoover Boys, everybody, they'd get a button and somebody would say, is the shank on it? Or is the shank intact? And every time they said it, just kept sticking in my head. And I thought, does that exist? Nope. No. I was like, well, that's us then.
Yeah, that's us.
Always like the shank intact. I love the buttons.
Yeah. I love buttons.
Yeah. Just tell a story, because it's very personal.
Yeah. Yes. And everyone says that. It's the first thing you ask. Hey, has it got a shank?
Yeah.
Look, the shank's intact.
For a Civil War button, a lot of guys, it makes a huge difference. Is it fully intact? Is it broken off? Oh, it's broken. Oh man, no, I like it. I like it whole. Yeah. I like whole.
Yeah.
Man, very cool.
Want to mention real quick, Grandma Kelly's Clean Life, Clean Living. Thank you for the super chat, $10. Thank you very much for watching and support.
Yep. Appreciate
that.
We love having guests like this on. They're always full of information.
Oh my gosh.
We have learned.
Yeah, we have learned so much, and we've been blessed to, like I said, to get to know the guys like Matt and all them that have shared their knowledge with us as well.
Right.
Which
we wouldn't be anywhere without guys helping us with settings or just
the
next level.
On the group page, on the Facebook page, the Shank is intact. We've got a couple guys on there that are just, that we've met on Facebook that joined our group that we pretty much deem as experts. Marcus,
Marcus Lee Masters.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, what's the other guy's name?
Is it Larry?
Yeah, Larry.
Their knowledge of buttons it will just blow you away. I mean,
like they can look at it and go, oh, this is the year, this is the date.
That's 1820s through 1850s, civilian button, back mark.
Yeah,
I mean, you're just like, wow, So, of course, we're like, okay, we're making them the group experts. So, we're going to rely on them. But
I'll try to do research because I have several button books, and I have, and I'll also reach out to people that I know that, might be able to even help us quick. So we love research.
That's always great. Go ahead, Tony.
Yeah, isn't it great? Just the community of metal detecting. I mean, you just throw out something, and people just know they're there to help you. They're there to guide you, and there's really no dumb questions, and everybody always wants to help and pass along the knowledge, just like Grandma Kelly's saying here. Thanks for the knowledge.
Yeah.
When we all started out, we had no knowledge, and it's all about passing along what we've learned, learning from other people.
Right.
Sometimes it's like drinking from a fire hose, though.
Right.
Especially when you're first starting out.
Yeah.
You're like, oh my gosh, there's so much to know out there.
Oh yeah.
So much. But I always tell people there's no stupid question. Like just ask it.
Nope.
Just ask it.
Right.
Because it's one of my biggest pet peeves in the hobby, and it's the biggest reason why I started a group for us and for us to run, was because I got sick of being in a group and posting something myself or seeing someone else post something, and then immediately someone comments the word junk. It's like, well, they weren't,
post-war,
don't, you didn't ask
like,
that.
you're like, I'm not asking that, I'm just asking, like, for a date range, but you just automatically like assume the button's not good because
like for somebody just brand new, you got a detector and you post a piece of iron thinking it could be something, and someone say it's junk. It's like, well, I might just stay off the internet from now on.
So we don't want people to feel that
when that happens. I'll message people and be like, hey, here's your warning. I need to tell this 60-year-old lady that her button is trash, because she's asking about, a button. So we're helping.
Right.
Yeah. Don't do it again.
That's the biggest thing. I don't want anybody to feel discouraged.
Right.
I want people to be able to come to the page that we have and get the knowledge that they want. We try to help everybody. Sometimes there's buttons on there that just none of us can.
Right. And that's why recently we pivoted the group slightly from, it used to be the Shank is intact and we're all about the buttons, but then it's now the Shank is intact, metal detecting for history.
Yeah.
Because we've encouraged people, hey, post what you want.
Yeah.
If it's about metal detecting, let's talk about it. But especially buttons too. Don't forget those.
Yeah.
We want to see even the tiniest little tiny flat buttons. I love them all.
Yeah.
And I have them all.
We threw the link to the Facebook page in the chat there. So if you guys listening either, and it's also in the description of the show here. So if you guys listening live or after the fact here, head over to the Facebook channel, our Facebook page, Shank is Intact. Join up there and let's pass along some knowledge and help each other learn a little bit.
Yeah, just a couple questions. It is a private. We went private just because there was so much spamming trying to happen.
Yeah.
We stopped all of it. We don't have. We have no spam. I'm proud to say I check it daily.
Yeah.
So people that want to join up, just answer a couple of questions, and then it gets reviewed by a moderator and brought you in.
Yeah,
we'll get you right in.
Perfect.
Yep.
It's the same. It's the same, guys. Like over in England, though, it's like metal detecting is so universal worldwide, really, because like over in England, I know they have the same kind of issues you guys were talking about, to where they'll post something from like the 1600s, and everyone will go modern.
Yeah,
right.
Modern. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, and you're like 1600s modern. But when you think about England, it is modern, but still,
it's like those guys going post-war.
Yeah,
post-war.
Yep.
Right.
Like it's some kind of insult.
Like, I didn't ask. I I asked if this was a New York button. It's like you posted. Yeah, is this a New York button? And the guy got post-war. What?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. But is it from New York?
Right. Yeah. We would get stuff like that too. We still do. Like, I was talking about with you on the phone the other day, Patrick. We do find military here. We find sort of cavalry relics and even artillery and even infantry buttons here from the 1850s, sort of mid 1850s, 1855. I think in 1852, when you had this mass migration, people coming over for the chasing gold for the 1849 gold rush and stuff, you had cavalry units that were out here protecting them. Mm-hmm. And so if you can find these little camps, which Tony and I are always trying to locate and researching our heads off because they're not so plentiful here, and we find a button, right, or find a bullet or something, and we're like posting it, I think a lot of people are like, late 1800s, early 1900s or whatever. But we've been actually able to, discern some of them are pretty early. Now, Tony and I not having much Civil War stuff here, right, except for the Guanella Pass was really the only Civil War battle in Colorado. We still call it Civil War relics, and it was like, because it's from that era. It's from the late 1850s, early, mid 1860s. It was during that time. Yeah, they weren't fighting in Civil War. They were here, and then people would slap our hands all the time. That's not Civil War. That's, era. Okay, it could be era. And so we're like, okay, sorry. We're not a Civil War area over here, but would love to be. I'm telling you what, you guys have a little bit of history there, I think, in the area you're in.
Yeah. We're right. I'm literally. I think I am about 2 miles east from Chancellorsville is where I'm about. But the issue here, I realized very quickly 4 years ago when I started, was Civil War permissions are very hard to find because you either get told it's been dug to death, no, or the last guys that were here left a big mess and left all their holes open, it's. Believe it or not, it's what I got more often than not. And so we kind of just stopped looking in this area and started moving east, and we pay to go dig Civil War. So just as easier.
Sure.
Yeah. Well,
that's a shame.
Yeah, it is a shame.
It is. But it's been, my wife's father, he's been digging for over 50 years. And, that was someone else who was metal detecting, and I was constantly like hearing about things he had done in the past. I was like, wow, I mean, I wonder if there's anything left. And I talked to a few people before I started who said, well, it's a little late starting. There might not be much left. And I'm like, well, there's a few things left. You just got to know where to look, I guess.
Yeah.
Get lucky.
We've gotten lucky plenty of times.
It's all luck, pretty much. That's all.
Yeah. I mean, we've done the research route and it's paid off. We've done the research route and it hasn't paid off. And then there's literally just my fiance's friends have some property that they just bought through a foreclosure. And we find a virgin colonial site that
there's nothing before, there's nothing after.
It's just literally all.
There were 4 shotgun shells and a piece of a 4-wheeler was the only trash we found.
Wow.
Everything else was.
There was nothing else modern. There wasn't pull tabs. There's nothing.
Guys just kept running back and forth to each other's hole. Patrick, Joe, get over here.
It's been over. Gosh, we dug it over 2 years.
Yeah.
Found 3 of our first pits. We never owned probes before that, and we were finding out you guys need probes. You got to probe it. Okay, probe it. First day we probe. Click, clink, clink. Oh, what's this? And then mess of pipe stems came out.
Oh my goodness.
Full pipe bowls, maker marks on them. I mean, just beautiful.
Yes.
Native American trade beads inside the pits, arrowheads. I mean, just
unbelievable.
Yep.
We got lots of it. It's all video too. We the videos weren't as more quality, I guess they are now that I've gotten used to holding my hand and doing all that.
We were newbies.
My style of filming, I like to just use my hand with my cell phone because I find it the easiest way, like a vlog style, I guess.
You know what though, you go back and look at everybody's channel at their first videos, how you evolved and become better at telling the story and all that kind of stuff. And when we first all start out, it's so awkward. You just don't you don't know how to exactly portray things. But we all evolve into it. So it's funny to go back and watch those beginning ones.
Right.
It is.
You're like so embarrassed about what you put out. You're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe what a noob I was.
Yeah. Right. But then you look and those are some of the videos that have the most views. So you're like, well, can't be too bad. Can't be too bad.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. On my channel, my very first video ever, it's got a pretty good amount of views. It didn't back then, but over time, all of a sudden it took off again. I never knew why, but it's like, when I go back and watch it, I cringe so bad. I'm like, how can I watch that?
Yeah. We're going to have to look at it now.
We have to go look for it.
But, it's so funny. I was thinking earlier when you were talking about, you said something like your wife bought you one or whatever. We've talked to so many people on this show over 8 years of doing interviews. And a lot of people we've talked to on the show say the same thing. They say, my spouse bought me my first detector. I'm that guy. My wife bought me my first detector, all that stuff. They had no idea it was going to turn into what it's turned into.
I was just going to say, I think my fiance's probably watching and she's probably regretting that decision for buying that first. No, she's been very, very supportive. I mean,
you can blame me some too. Though,
yeah. Oh, she knows. She knows.
I pushed you a little bit. No. You got to get the GPX. You got to. I know it's $4,000, Joe, but listen, you need it.
It's how much?
Yeah. Don't rent it. You need. Well, he wanted to get a brand new one so he'd have a long-lasting warranty. From GPX. Right. So I'm still shocked that someone one day realized, hey, we can take this machine made in Australia to find gold, and we can tune it properly to help us find relics deep in either mineralized soil or. Let me tell you, if anyone watching has a Civil War site and it's good dirt. And there's trenches.
Oh, sure.
Do a GPX and take it in there.
You would be amazed.
You will be shocked. We got a permission, and the guy that owned the house said, we've been here about 10 years, and I had a detector a while back. We found some buttons, found a few bullets. Good luck. I doubt you'll find much. First day I came out with 32 bullets. And he was like, wait a minute, where? And I showed him where, and he was like, how deep? And I was like, well, they're all about 18 inches. So I was just hearing them, marking the leaves and putting the machine down and then digging each one. Oh man, what a great day that was. That's that's that right there.
Nice.
That's from that battle. So I put everything up there. I made the people little thing as well.
Oh, that's cool.
We like to do that for some sites.
Yeah.
If they're interested.
Yeah.
I was watching one of your videos and you were out with Matt and some other guys and they were using a backhoe to clear the ground.
Okay, that's
some serious digging right there.
Yeah, that was in Kelly's Ford, and that was the owner of the property who rented the backhoe to help us try to open the old latrine that never got finished. So they had it there for that, and the pit we were working on, we knew well, we're never going to finish it in the next day. And so we just asked him, could you rip back the top few feet there? Actually, I think it exposed a few buttons and some stuff. So that was my first pit. And then later that day, I got my first bottle. That's back there too.
What kind of bottle was it that you got?
I can show you if you don't mind.
No, yeah.
Hold on a second. Let me grab it, Joe.
Yep.
Very, very cool.
It's crazy how interests evolve from coins to relics to bottles. Like,
Oh yes, I always dreamed about it.
It doesn't matter to us.
No, yeah, and this day,
history's history.
What's his name? John Hickok. The owner of Bull Run Winery, I believe. He was in a pit that they were in, and he invited us to come over, and he said, and then we were all just talking, and then they said, "Wait, you haven't got a bottle?" He's like, "Wait, you haven't either?" He's like, "Well, get in." And Matt got the next one. He got this tiny little ink thing, and then they were like, "Well, Pat, you've never got one." You said, "You get in next." And I got this beautiful small food jar. They said probably contained olives.
Oh yeah.
An olive jar.
Yeah,
Wow.
you can see
Nice.
you can see the bubbles and the.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, nice, man.
And here's the top. There's not a crack or a scratch.
Sweet.
About 3
Beautiful.
feet underground. It still has still has dirt in it. I didn't want to scrub it all the way.
No.
Yeah.
Isn't it crazy? You're holding a bottle in your hand and you will never forget that day.
Yep.
Right.
Ever.
Right. Oh, never.
That's
I'll never.
stupid
forget it.
bottle.
Right. It's a
But
bottle.
It's not a stupid bottle.
No, not at all.
That's what my wife would say. It's only a bottle. I go, it's not only a bottle.
Have to put it back so we know it doesn't get broken.
That's
That's right.
man.
It is on a
You were
glass
talk-
shelf, which always scares me.
You were talking about our significant others, and I had actually had a conversation with my wife last week, and I said I'm probably gonna be busy this weekend. I'm gonna go metal tech with Ken on Saturday. And then I had some other stuff going on Sunday. She says, "Yeah, I don't ever expect you to be home on the weekend, so that's about right."
Yeah. Right.
So
Yeah.
she's incredible support. She just understands.
Our wives as
So,
well. We try.
Yeah.
We try, if it's not a digging event like this,
Sure.
we try to dig once a week,
Yeah.
like Saturday.
Saturday or a Sunday.
Yeah, or
Right.
Sunday, just
Right.
one day, so we can spend the
But-
other day with our significant others. And
Guilty on that colonial spot, that virgin spot. We were hitting it Saturday, Sundays for
Saturdays and Sundays, and then I think at least once or twice you had your wife bring us lunch.
Yeah.
You brought us
So
Domino's
cool.
pizza.
Domino's Pizza.
We were
She
eating
delivered
Domino's
it to us
pizza.
while we
One
were
of
all
the
hit.
300-year-old pipe stems.
Yeah.
We haven't
In
done
the
that one
pit.
yet, Tony. We got to do
No.
that sometime.
That's so much fun, though. What a sight.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had to go there off because the homeowners were, kind enough to we could come days in a row. They didn't mind.
Right.
They actually let us leave the pits open for almost a year.
Yeah.
Because we were
They
working
were
on them.
off their
Because
Because
four-wheeler
they were in the
trails.
woods. They were right off exactly right off their four-wheeler trails. It was very odd.
But it was funny
Ah.
because we would go back, we would dig one weekend, go back the next weekend. If it rained or if they rode the four-wheelers, we would just walk down their trails carrying all of our gear, and we're looking, and it's like pipe stem, where the four-wheelers were just kicking up the pipe stems.
Arrowhead.
Yeah, arrowhead,
Stuff
pottery.
like that.
I mean,
The site, we were just, every time we were there, we're just like, this isn't real. How does this keep happening? Remember, a couple times we actually said to each other, do you think that the landowners are just coming back here and putting this here?
Dropping the stuff.
Yeah. It was
boy.
just odd. Like, who was this family?
Well, that's
Yeah.
completely
Oh, yeah.
understandable then, man. I
Yeah.
tell you what, I if it was Tony and I, we'd be there every weekend as
Oh,
well.
yeah.
Like it would be hard
Absolutely.
to come away from that
Yeah.
site. I might get sick a few times during the week.
Yep.
Call my
Next-
boss.
Sometimes it happens. It happens.
Got relic fever.
Oh, that migraine's coming on. I'm not going to go to work tomorrow.
Oh, we've
yeah.
been there.
Yeah.
I did want to ask you guys when you did start out. We talked about when you guys first started detecting and stuff. Did you start out? What was your interest? Was it coins? Was it relics? Did you have kind of one focus or the other, or was it just kind of whatever you can find?
For me, I think it was just what's here, what's in the places that I can get permission to, and what am I going to find? And I would say quickly, it was by our first permission, the family with the kids.
oh yeah.
Yeah. By that, I would call, I think that was our first joint permission.
Yeah.
Because ever since that one, every permission we've gotten, we consider our permission.
Yeah.
So whether or not, like if Joe can't make it, I've taken my wife, or he's gone a couple times without me, or, whatever. And it's
We'll
just,
always ask.
we always ask each other, hey, dude, do
sure,
you mind, if,
which
Yeah.
it's always
if you,
obviously
we always
no,
are
go
trying
ahead,
to go together. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's just a great time.
Yeah. But
You guys-
no, I think when I first started off, think I was more interested, like, I want to find coins. You know, like
you love coins.
Well, mine was a gold. I still want to find a gold coin.
Me too.
It's eluded me.
It's
eluded me.
That's on everybody's.
I found reals, cobs, everything.
I say it in every video too. I said gold coins.
But the gold coin has eluded me. So fingers crossed.
Yeah. Fingers crossed. Just stay after it. Do you guys remember, each one of you remember your first killer relic that you're like,
mine's actually, one of mine is right over there. Yeah.
Which would you
the Virginia staff officers. Yeah. Well, I can't. I don't have my glasses on.
Well,
so
Joe's has glasses on, so I'll show it for him. But Joe found this at a permission that we got, and it is a
oh my gosh,
Virginia
what
staff officer's coat button.
Wow.
And should I say it?
Yeah.
We were told it was post-war.
Yeah.
But the shank is intact.
The shank is intact.
Yes.
And what's really special about this button is a couple years ago for my birthday, we were eating at Cheddar's and Joe gave it to me.
Oh man, that's cool.
Super special.
Wow.
Yeah.
Super awesome.
It was Patrick's permission that he had been
technically
to.
it was because I had the permission before I met you.
Yep. And he had been there before, and he talked to the lady and convinced her, hey, I want to bring my buddy. He's still new to it. And I literally just got the Equinox 800, and it was the next day we went out there metal detecting.
Oh yeah.
And there was a car that wasn't there anymore, but you could see the tire marks where I don't know how long that car had
grass. I think it was grass. Yeah.
Yeah. It was just sitting in the grass, but it had been moved since Patrick was there the last time.
Mm-hmm.
And it was towards the middle of the day. I was just scanning, trying to learn the new knocks, and I heard a signal and I dug it, and I was just like, I looked up and Pat's looking at me. He's like 50 feet away, and I'm like, it's a button. And he's like, what? I was like, there's a lady on it. And he was like,
there's a lady on it. It's a lady. Yeah,
I mean, did you know what it was immediately, or did you have to research it?
I knew what it was.
He knew what it was.
I knew it was a Virginia button. I didn't know it was a staff officer's button.
Yeah.
But I think we sprayed it right away because it was loaded with, gold gilt, which was so exciting to see.
But I'm just wondering how long that car was parked on top of it.
Right.
Just protecting it.
But also knowing the history of the house, which we can't share because, the homeowners have always, we haven't had a permission yet where the homeowners were like, please share the history of our house. So I'm sure everyone understands that. But we know the history of the property and the relevance of the button. The people that lived there did serve in the Virginia Army during the Civil War and after. So whoever they were, they survived the war, which is neat.
But so Pat, we all got together for Pat's birthday at Cheddar's, and I was like, just trying to think of a gift, and I was like, man, there's no better gift than to give him this. I dug it on his property, on his permission. I was like, I gotta give it to him. I was like, I gotta give it to him.
I bet. That's amazing.
That's awesome.
Yep.
That's so cool.
And it's so shiny.
Do you remember yours, Patrick? Your first oh my gosh relic?
Oh man, my first oh my gosh relic. Well, I'm gonna have to get that off the wall.
You go ahead and do it. We're gonna do a show and tell here at Pat's house.
That's right.
It's been in magazines. It's been in.
This is cool because this comes back to our joint property, the first joint
and that's
property
what I was
we
talking
got
about
together.
and this is the reason why we made the button group. But this is my. Oh wait, you know what? Talk about something else for a second while I get it out. I didn't realize the glare. I apologize.
Oh, that's all right.
That's what's happening.
I was going to say if it's on the wall, it's got to be a pretty darn good find here.
Yes,
show and tell.
It's a great find. Yeah. We'll show it like this with the board.
You're not putting your bottle caps up there on the wall.
Take the lid off. I've got it held in, but the shank isn't.
Oh wow!
Oh, look at that.
But this is
what is that?
This is a lead pewter flat button, the enormous one, and it has Sir Edward Vernon on it.
No, it doesn't.
It sure does.
What?
You can see the painting of him here. I'm trying to get it in view.
British Navy.
There you go. Yep, he actually served.
Oh my god!
He actually served in the British Royal Navy during the Battle of the Jenkins Ear in the Caribbean, and Lawrence Washington, George Washington's half brother, served under him. And this guy right here is the reason it's named Mount Vernon, because George Washington's half brother renamed it for him. Pretty cool.
The guy on the button.
Holy cow!
And so we've done our research about it, and what I've been told is somebody that probably served with him or admired him had this button made, because we cannot find another like it. I've seen some examples. I've seen someone, Dave Wise,
Yes,
I think he dug a button that's close, but it's Edward Vernon and it's cross cannons underneath.
Oh wow!
But this is just him
wow.
standing with his like staff or whatever, and he's pointing.
So he must have been very like inspirational to different troops, and maybe they put his image on certain. If there's one with cross cannons, and then that one, I was going to ask you if there's some special regiment or something.
Well, he's actually, and his name was actually, his nickname was Old Grog.
Grog.
And the term grog, that derived from him because he watered down the liquor for his the beer for his troops to keep them hydrated. So they wouldn't be drunk all day, but they thought they were drinking. So they called it grog.
Old grog.
Yep.
It's funny.
Yeah,
so he was the maker of the first 3-2 beer. Got it.
Yeah, that's it. Old banquet.
That was mine. And that's a very nice stand-up shank as well.
Amazing, man. And here's what's cool about metal detecting. People always ask me throughout my family and everything, Ken, why are you into metal detecting so much, right? Did you know anything about that gentleman until you found that button?
No.
So is it like
I
you
knew
learned
Mount
all
Vernon.
that about
It's
that
not far away. I know Mount Vernon. Never knew the
Sure.
history. Never knew that's why the name changed, because it used to be called Little Hunting Creek, I think is what it was called, and they renamed it to Mount Vernon after him. So no, and I never knew about him. Never knew the history of that battle.
Wow.
No, it's the
Absolutely
thing. Go down that's one of the episodes. It's episode 1 actually on the Shank is Intact of History After the Dig. So I've only done 2 episodes of that, but it's just it's like I thought of it just for like, gosh, there's that one find that has so much relevance in just this little flat button, and it's just crazy the story you learn from it.
You did an episode just on that button,
just on that because I
the
dug
history of all of it, and
I dug the button. I saw the shank; it was covered in wet, sandy soil from out there in King George, and I put it in the case. And gosh, it was later that night or the next morning until I even cleaned it off and saw, this isn't just a flat button. There's some guy on here.
Oh my
gosh! And I posted on Facebook. It didn't take I think Dave Wise was the guy to comment and say, "Hey, dude, that's Edward Vernon.
Similar. Yeah,
I've dug one similar, but I've never seen one like that in the octagon. I mean, that's nuts." And I'm like, "Whoa, what?" I've been told several times it should be in a museum, and I'm like,
"Yeah,
it's in my museum."
Yeah, it sure is. Look at that right over there on the wall.
We've got as much security.
That is, that's an amazing, man. That is so cool.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Flip out.
It still gives me goosebumps thinking about it because it's where and what's really crazy is that property was the same property I dug my first $1 real, 1758, and then someone said that button was probably from the 1750s because that's when he had like passed away, so they might have been celebrating him. And I'm like, you mean the guy that lost this button might have dropped the $1 real?
The real, right?
Wow,
goosebumps, man. That kind of stuff gives me goosebumps.
That property was nuts too because that stuff's that's over 100 years before the Civil War. And that same property within the same 2 acres, Joe found his first Civil War button, which was a scripted eye. And I found I have to show it since I'm talking about it.
Love the
shank is intact. I love the shank is intact. We got to remember to describe it for our audio.
This is a button. This is a button because there were so many buttons there. We found out later that it might have been the spot of a brothel.
Ooh.
So, but this button is kind of crazy because, hold on, got to get this piece of felt out of it. But it's just the face of a button, but it's a very special Confederate button.
Oh,
you can see it here. I'll put it in front of my.
It's got one of those funky chicken eagles on it, right?
Yeah, it's a droop wing eagle.
Droop wing.
And it has a hole somebody carved in the chest.
Huh.
And so I was thinking like probably Union soldier did it ripping the heart out of freedom or something.
Oh, I don't know, man. That's interesting.
Isn't it crazy? It almost looks like it shot through.
Right. Throw hair. Pull.
I don't believe that, Matt Howe. Keep on digging. I see Ron Diggins here.
Yeah.
He's got to give it to us.
You got that right. You got that right, Matt. They're a little fishy, man. I don't know about those things hanging on the wall over there.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, man. Joe put that in the ground.
That's why I like to try to film it. I really need to start doing more, I guess, live
digs.
Yeah.
But hey, if you don't believe me, don't believe it.
I know, right?
I think on that property,
if I faked it and then displayed it, that'd be pretty.
You found that. I found the script. You found a Massachusetts.
Massachusetts militia button. And several eagle buttons.
Yeah, I found
which was just
5
super
eagle
weird
buttons.
because
there was no bullets, no anything else.
No
and then we found out that the property that was right next to there
Was a brothel.
They said had an old brothel site, and we tried and tried to get on there, but the guy had like a 3-year-old son, and he was like, "Nah, I don't want you guys on here because one day my son might want to metal detect it." And I'm like, "Well, I'll bring him out there right now. We'll go metal detect it right now."
Right.
But he said no, so we move along. We only dig with some. Look, those boys, some real dandies. Yeah, because we only dig with permission. So
there you go.
We attribute a lot of our what we call luck to that, because we knock or we get in contact with landowners, and then we ask permission, explain to them, we'll show them everything we find, and welcome them to keep anything they want. And we have just gotten extremely like the colonial site that's in the coffee table. First day we showed that to the landowner, and she went, "Oh no, that stuff's dirty. You guys keep it." No, we're good.
Okay.
And then we realized that night we showed her 300-year-old buckles, and we were like, "Wow!" And she wasn't even interested. Well,
we told her the next time we
save
went back,
all this then and get it.
We told her, we said, those buckles that we showed you last weekend, they're like 300 years old. Those are colonial. She's like,
we wouldn't have found them.
Yeah, she's like, they're in the ground. We went to found them. You guys did the work to keep them.
That's
incredible.
They honestly, the one kid thought the pipe stems they could see on the ground in the trails, they honestly thought they were cigarette butts. They thought it was trash because it looks like little chunks of white, and they just assumed
they're colonial cigarette butts. I mean,
they are. Exactly.
They used them, and then they just pitched them.
Yeah, and that's what we learned too, is that sometimes if you found a shorter pipe, because they'd snap it off if it had a clog, and try to keep using it. That's pretty interesting.
Interesting.
Gosh, but what were they smoking? Actually, it's probably had less additives than today's.
Yeah.
So
right. Yeah.
It's probably just the bush or the tree or whatever, the tobacco plant. I guess it's a plant, not a bush.
We've talked on the show before about some of our trips to England. Same thing. Tony would talk to these landowners that we would get, the tour we would go on would get these permissions for us ahead of time. And Tony talked to one of the landowners one time, and they're like, "Man, we're so glad you guys are out having fun. We're not going to look for it. We're sheep farmers. We're raising sheep on this land. We're not. We don't care about it. So we're we're glad you guys could have a good time." And they weren't interested in anything. They didn't want to see anything. Even the gold Celtic staters and the gold, stuff coming out of the ground, they couldn't care less. If the Treasure Act was to contact them and say, "Hey, these guys found a
a hoard,
$800,000 hoard on your property," they would get half of it. They would
then they're really interested in that.
We had some questions come in from the audience, right? Dropped in Forgotten real quick said, East Idaho Digger said, "Any cannonballs? You guys find any cannonballs?"
No, I have found a lot of shrapnel.
Yep.
I guess a lot of
pieces of a lot of fragments. Shells. Yeah, a lot of fragments and stuff, but not a whole shell or cannonball. No, that's another bucket lister.
I have one in my collection though that I acquired.
Oh, that's a big boy. Is it like a 12-pound or something?
Gosh, I honestly don't know exactly what it is.
Oh, that's
it's
got
a big
years in
friend. I traded him some things that I won in a contest. And when I traded, it was kind of like a trade, whatever, even trade. And I had planned to maybe gift it to my father until he told me it came from Beauregard Farm. So I was like, well, I might. It's one of my favorite places on earth since starting this hobby. So might as well hold on to that.
Is that your favorite farm so far from DIV?
I would say favorite farm that for a paid dig.
Yeah.
I've been on only a couple besides DIV itself. 12-pound Borman. I see.
There you go.
Yep. Perfect. Actually, that is what the other Matt said.
Matty.
Yeah, Matty. You gotta call him Matty.
Matty.
We got Matt.
We got
Matty.
two Matts.
He calls me Patty. I'll call him Matty.
There we go.
Warm and
fused. Very cool. How about this one? Dropped and Forgotten said, "You ever found a GW? A GW?"
No, oh my gosh!
Every time we pull a bandy out of the ground,
a big button, man.
We just kind of hold it and say, "Let this be the day. Let this be the day."
Let me see some links. Let me see some big.
We thought
we're digging where we should find them.
Yes, yeah.
Where there could be some in Virginia. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I know they could be anywhere, but there's a couple spots that we have that are
we're
just
really
like
close to where
we're so close that we're like they gotta be here. Man.
They hung out.
They were buddies. They were buddies.
We have buttons from his friends.
Yeah,
yeah, you do. You got Vernon's buttons, so you're good.
Right.
Well, let's do this, Pat. Why don't you grab that camera and show us around your coffee table a little bit?
Sure.
Everyone sit down, hang on.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna stand up just so that way I can get out of your way real quick.
And I'll use a You want to maybe use the flashlight for me and put it. Well, we'll go to the coffee table first.
Yeah.
Find the mess.
Anything
The
you
mess.
pick out specifically, try to describe.
So yeah, what you're looking
there's all
at here
that.
is
is
a
full.
4x4 foot coffee table, full of colonial artifacts. There's a red rectangle in the middle where all of the metal detecting finds were. Maybe pull the light back some. Joe.
Wow, man.
How's that? I'll get a little.
Oh,
Look at all
yeah,
the
that's
pipe
great.
stems
That's
and
great.
pipe
And
plate
so
pipe.
Yeah, look at all the pipe stems.
that
Scissor
specific
pieces.
large pipe right in the middle, that I found. That was a day Joe said he was going to detect, and it was hot. So I said, I'll get in the hole. I want to try to find the edges around the bottom, and that was 4.5 feet deep at the bottom of the hole, unbroken.
Is that an epaulette scale?
Not in here.
No, not there on the lower left of the image. No.
Mm-mm.
Down here.
Yeah, no, to down, Joe, to right there, the semicircular one. Is that? Oh, that looked like an epaulette. You know what I mean? Like a
pottery.
scale.
Base for
That's
pottery.
pottery. Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, it's pottery.
Gotcha. No problem.
And there's a couple reals and a couple cobs in here,
just a couple.
and a piece of an Elizabeth the First.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah,
Wow.
and we could come over here.
Oh, you guys are right. There is nothing left in Virginia.
Oh no,
They
this
got
is
it all
just
back
this
in
is
the
just
day.
one site. So,
Oh, my
and it's still
goodness.
giving.
Yeah, Pat organizes his stuff, so each display you see is one permission, is
Yeah,
one
and
separate permission.
you can see the name here is redacted at the bottom. Because
Right. Good.
Yeah.
Good job.
Wow, look
Like-
at those
like-
giant round balls, man. Those musket balls. Look how big they are.
yeah,
Joe likes finding those.
yeah.
We call him Musket Ball Joe sometimes.
There you go.
There's another.
Well, how
Skeleton
Relic Hunter
key.
guy said, "Who needs a coffee table book? That table is a history book by itself."
Yes, it
Right.
is.
I'm hoping one day. I hope maybe when I'm 50 or older, I might
write
get
a
into
book.
write a book about that site.
There you go.
Joe
Look at
has
that
about just
key.
as much
That key
stuff.
is
So
cool. Yeah.
couple more.
Brains
Oh,
guide. I
look
can
at-
see.
Yeah.
Wow.
Come
Very
over
cool.
here. Oh, look up in here, Joe.
Oh wow. Look at
Oh,
that.
here's my revolutionary relic.
Well, they might be able to see that without the.
Is that a butt plate? What is that?
That is
No.
a strap. That is a brass strap end off an artillery pouch from the Revolutionary War. I found that at the Liberty Hall paid dig. And if Matt's still here, he could tell you guys a story about how I handed it to him and he tossed it in the grass messing with
He
me.
said it's just a hunk of lead.
No, he said it's a hunk of brass.
A hunk of
So it's
brass.
pretty.
Yeah, just doing
You
a
gotta
brass
come
and
on
do
with
the
you
rest
gotta
of it.
come on with us, Matt, and tell us some stories about these fellas.
That's Gold Vein, Virginia.
Wow.
There's
nice.
There's a 1 real in there, and there's some more stuff here and some pottery. And
Yeah, I mean, there's
Yeah.
just.
A couple
Very nice.
things.
let me go to the corner.
Jeez.
And here's
Oh, hey,
here's Coles Hill,
there you go.
There you go.
and here's Beauregard.
All right.
Can you see all that?
Couple
Man,
bullets.
lots of bullets.
Jeez.
This is all from Beauregard Farm from the 3 times I've
I
been
see,
before. And tomorrow morning will be my 4th time. Got
Williams
my first
cleaner
US
on the
belt
left
buckle.
there.
Yep,
Wow.
first breastplate's in there.
Wow.
Yeah, and then there's a bunch of stuff down there
Man,
as we climb up here.
a little bit of stuff, bud. Look at
Couple
that.
things. I love how each one's displayed from each site. That's insane.
Yeah, each site labeled. I also have pictures
Right,
from each
right.
site all labeled. And here's
That's a
couple
lot
more.
of digging, man.
Wow.
Oh, here, this has got a map on it from Spillman Farm.
Look at that.
What's the big
Wow.
round disc in the case back there, the slabbed piece?
Where at?
To the right, down, sitting on top of the table.
Right here.
Yeah, yeah. What's
Those
that?
are that's a Walking Liberty,
Okay. Couldn't see the detail. Nice.
and there's also a Ben Franklin there, same property.
Yeah,
This is
cool.
my first cut Spanish real.
Oh, my
Ooh.
goodness.
Dang.
Oh man, can you imagine, Tony? That would be
No.
amazing.
No.
That would be
This
amazing.
is 4 years.
Yeah,
Right. I mean,
that is
Yeah.
insane, man. Look at that. It's a really nice display up there, bud.
I didn't dig this though.
Ooh,
is that a
that-
sash
Or the
buckle?
plate.
oh,
Oh,
I acquired that and it was in 7 pieces. I glued it back together.
oh my goodness,
Here's some bullets, some buttons,
man.
and my DIV little relic area. This is from
Very
the,
cool, man.
This
Look
is
at
made
that.
by John Kendrick from the witness tree. The
No
witness tree
kidding.
that is right here in the picture that ended up falling down.
wow.
Oh my gosh.
And this pin is made by Dean from the witness tree as well.
Very cool, man. That's a killer display. Look at that.
Yeah.
Such a place of honor for that stuff. I love it.
Oh yeah. This is my favorite place to sit, and it's right in the corner of our room. My wife let me. She said, "Well, you might as well display it."
Right. Well, you've done well.
When you get people,
I just realized the laptop's not even plugged in, and I keep messing with the plug.
When you get people to come over and you show this to them the first time, what's their reaction like?
Oh man! Like one I think it's my father. I had him come in and look at it, and he said, "I thought you just started a few years ago." I said, "But just lets me go every time I can." So the wife lets me go dig a lot. Sometimes I get to go every now and then without Joe during the week. I'll get an invite from someone else who will take me to one of their spots if I'm lucky. And I've gotten pretty lucky. I have something to share about that from a site.
Could you guys come see that?
Oh, hey, look at that, man. East Idaho Digger wants you guys to come seed Idaho for them.
Yes.
Throw some buttons out.
Just seed them up, please.
Like
look at that buckle, man.
And this is
gorgeous.
It's a Gaylord. You see right here.
Oh.
E Gaylord on the top.
Oh, wow.
And then why I wanted to talk about this, I think I dug this over a year ago, but just last week, my buddy Hank took me to one of his spots about 40 miles from where I dug this, but I found the other side.
Oh, did you?
And it's crazy because they're patinas matched, but they definitely weren't from the same soldier, of course, but so excited to have both pieces.
Dang. Wow, dude. That's unheard of.
Incredible.
Right?
Now, Joe, do you display your stuff, Joe? Also,
I do, but not in as much detail as Patrick.
I'm a little OCD. I think about it.
I'll be honest with you. I do have everything separated. I just need to buy more cases. So I have stuff in bags that's marked, with the property. I just need to get the time and B, get the cases and then just sit down one day and just put everything in the cases. I've got it separated per, permission, just like he does.
I'm super, I wouldn't call it superstitious because I don't feel like, I won't find anything, but I don't like to go digging to a new dig or a new place that I didn't go like the time before with a plate of relics still sitting out.
Oh,
I like
really?
To in a box and get labeled and get on the shelf. And, I don't necessarily clean every single thing.
I might have superstitious.
Yeah, I guess it is.
Yeah. At least it provides motivation. I'll tell you that. It definitely keeps you motivated.
I like it labeled. I like to know where it's from. I like to, especially because you never know, even though we show everything to the landowners and offer them stuff, you never know, you might get contacted one day. Hey, actually, and I'd be happy to still let a landowner see the things or even offer them things from the box if they wanted them because, it's, as far as I'm concerned, it was theirs first. So they could have found it and not let us go out there. So that's what it's all about, I guess. Have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. E-Tector said that's a phenomenal collection. They could put that into a mobile museum van, take it to the elementary schools and teach more than is in the history books.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah,
I've had a dream and the wife said I can do it, but it might take a while. I want to build I want to do a concrete slab, maybe like 12 by 12, 14 by 14 foot room and do brick walls and build my own museum, like out towards the end of the road here in our property. Then we could just lock it all in there, be super secure and, let people come by and look at stuff one day. And, I don't care to show it off now because, I think one day it'll be a lot bigger because I plan to grow it more.
There you go. There you go. Positive thought.
As long as we can. Right.
Yeah. Didn't we have some other questions? Let me see this one right here. Are you clicking it and I'm clicking it?
Nope.
There we go.
There you go.
DC Diggins, have you found any Confederate buckles?
Just one.
Just the one.
It's pretty.
Sure is pretty.
I didn't find the CS side, but I have the wreath. It is sadly broken from where it would have connected to the leather, but it is gorgeous.
And something like that, you know what it is a minute it comes out of the dirt.
Yeah.
What did you do? Tell me about that experience, man.
About 40 feet away, I found a Virginia coat button Kent Payne back mark, which is a pretty good one to find. And we were in the middle of Virginia, I would say. So it's right where it should have been.
So what was your experience like when you pulled back the dirt and saw that wreath looking at you?
I don't think I couldn't breathe.
Yeah, you called me.
I called Joe immediately. I called Joe before I showed the guys I was digging with.
familiar, Tony?
No, you're never gonna believe
Yes,
what
it
I'm looking at. And I'll admit too, I've told people because the video of it, the clips I put up were several minutes after I dug it. And yes, I'm guilty. I stuck it back in the hole to start the video, and it's just because I didn't know what to do. I was digging where I went up this hill, this little flat hill, and the guy I was digging with said, you're going to get into a ton of modern lead over there. And I was like, oh, perfect. Because that's what I go, you get into, now what I've learned after 4 years of digging now in 2020 until 2024 is if you don't go into areas that guys didn't, 20, 30, 40 years ago, you're not going to find many things. Yeah. So I dug modern bullet.
Wow.
CS Reef. Yeah. So it was very worth it to go. And so if somebody tells you, hey, that area is junky, especially if you're at a paid dig, get in it.
Get in there.
I've seen some of the craziest things come out of some areas, but what have Matt and them slow. You gotta go. And when I'm saying slow, I mean your coil should be moving faster than your feet. Yep. Like, so you should just be not even walking.
Yep. And like Maddie said, never be afraid to drag that coil across the ground too. Go low and slow, like just
like John.
Yeah.
But we love laughing. We've had people ask us like, are you just like don't care, or just like I was like, no, like we want to have fun while we're doing this. So we just laugh and joke all day long. Yeah. We'll pull pranks on each other. Oh, yeah. We've had pranks pulled on us by landowners, which has been amazing. Yeah. What happened, Joe?
Ooh, I gotta hear that story.
It was at a property in Montrose. Right?
Yeah, we're at a property in Montrose, and we got into a trash pit.
We were like 10 feet deep, probably.
Yeah, about 10 feet deep. We had an extension ladder to get in and out. The landowner let us leave it open. It was off of their driveway, right up next. Yeah, we covered it with the pallet, put flags around it, and so we could come back the next weekend. They went out of town, and when we came back, I pulled the pallet back and I lowered the ladder down, and I saw something down there, and I was like, what is that?
You're like, how much did it rain? Why is that so clean?
Yeah, it was like a
white milk glass bottle.
It was a white milk glass bottle down there, but I could see something in it. And I went down there, and there's a sticky note in there, and I pulled it out, and it said, we've been trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty.
That is great.
Right?
Yeah, and $20 for lunch.
And it said, get you guys some lunch.
Yeah, get your guys.
What?
Yeah,
it was really awesome.
Yeah, from the landowner.
We gave her
the landowner.
We gave her almost everything we found there. She let us keep a few things, but she wanted all the bottles. She loved seeing the buttons and the little bit of pottery found in that one hole. Yep. We opened up a feature on the property with the probe, and there were all these handmade like red bricks. And she was like, do you think I could keep those? And we're like, yeah, all we got to do is bring them around the back of your house, which we didn't realize would kill us, but we did it because she wanted it. Go back in the hole and brought dirt from the woods and filled it more.
One of the coolest landowners.
Yeah, she's really awesome.
She's awesome.
She gets it, man.
Since then, we've been back a few times after hitting it for over a year, and we haven't found anything, but she'll let us park there. She'll let us have friends meet us there and leave their cars and leave from there. And it's really cool.
It's the coolest, man. There's nothing better than that when you get a permission from a landowner like that.
She has reached out to people, and we've actually seen her comment on posts that I would not expect it to be, but she's like, Joe and Patrick, to the person, you guys need to let Joe and Patrick come out here and dig your property. They're the coolest guys. They respect the land. They love the history. You guys need to have them come out and check your property. And, so she's always putting her plug in for us. So.
Love that. Yeah. Love that.
Yeah, that is awesome. That is
got to be nice to your landowners.
Yeah. We can't do what we love if we don't have those kind of people.
Right.
Well, and the good thing is some of our permissions now are past her place. So, we
go out and they let us park.
But I mean, even if parking, we'll still go by and check on
the house
her house
and let her know.
And I'll send her a text and be like, "Hey, everything looks good on the house. Like everything looks good." And thanks. I appreciate it. You guys didn't have to do that. But now we're going to. We're going by it.
Absolutely, that's so cool.
Yeah.
The detector said, "Make sure you give that lady a nice holiday fruitcake this year."
I actually just sent a whole bunch of Christmas cards today. Yeah. I like to send Christmas cards to our active permissions and even some of our older ones.
Yep. Yeah,
great.
You gotta take care of them, man. They take care of you.
Yeah. You get. I'll get. Last year I sent Christmas cards, and I'll tell you, I think I sent about 8, and I think I got 6 back, and 3 of them said, "When you guys coming back? Like we'd love to see you again. Like come dig some more stuff. We want to see some stuff." I had the the one lady who out at Lake Anna.
Yeah.
And she sent me a Christmas card and said, hey, that whole 2 acres of woods to the left side of the driveway is now completely gone. And what do you mean? Oh, that's where we were finding that. I found burnside bullets right outside of it, and we ended up finding a couple more. So
Wow.
that's pretty neat. So somebody was on that property firing them. I don't know why. Maybe
Right.
target practice. There was no battle.
Wow. You talk about landowners. Ken and I, we had an event that we did a couple months ago that we'll be able to talk about in the spring. But we got in real good with the landowners. It's actually historical property that we were able to dig on.
Yeah, like a national register type place.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And just about a month ago, I got a text message from the landowner just checking in with me and everything, keeping up in touch and everything. And I said, yeah. I said, obviously, we'll be back in the spring. And he says, yeah, when you guys come out, we'll go ahead and do a barbecue. We'll bring out like a case of beer and we'll make a whole day about it. I'm like, are you serious? I mean, this is like a historical.
They were so excited
to
have us
weekend?
there, man.
Yeah.
Is this next weekend?
You need help?
Let's go.
Next weekend.
Yeah.
It's in
They
the
were
spring.
so cool, man. They're like,
Oh,
Ken,
spring.
you and your wife come up here. They're kind of in like a touristy
Yeah.
area, a real kind of popular touristy area here. Beautiful, like God's country.
Gorgeous,
And they're like, if you and your wife ever come up here just to do the touristy thing, come on by. We'll have some dinner. Please come. Like they were just all about it.
Yeah, they're
man.
all
So
about
excited.
it. All about
I'll
it.
tell you,
Many
there's
people.
not a better feeling though when you can, have a relationship with landowners like that, because, I mean, like I said, we've gotten other permissions from word of mouth from actual
Right.
landowners that, hey, now that I'm thinking about it, you guys have been, coming out here for a while now, and, you guys are great. My brother owns, 150 acres and he's like 20 minutes away. And we're like, really?
Yeah.
Really?
Him. Let's go.
Yeah.
Where's he at?
Yeah. How often do you guys do that? Turn one permission into another, friends, families, neighbors.
I think always after going to a spot a couple times, and if the landowners are, they want to come out and talk. I mean, we have so many spots where landowners come out and actually like hug us,
Right.
like we're second family.
Yeah.
Like they're happy to see us because they just live on these huge properties, and their kids are out of state and they only see them for holidays, and it's kind of like you become almost family with these folks. And if the spot is really good, you're going every single day.
Yeah.
And so we always ask, hey, if you ever have a neighbor or you hear someone talking about wanting to look for something, or even if, what you've gone a couple times trying to help someone find a ring or wedding ring, just because
I helped the guy
we've
find his
had
wedding
people with,
ring. Yeah.
permission of ours will see a post on Facebook and then comment and say, hey, a guy that digs on our yard is a really nice guy, Joe, and he could probably help you find your ring. And it's like, wow, okay, great. Yeah, look what Relics.
Yeah, man. Riddles, relics, man. Word of mouth can either make you or break you.
Yes.
For sure. You do it the wrong way, you're going to get a reputation and it can kill you.
Screw yourself.
Joe and I are super big proponents on, we don't trespass. We only ask permission.
Right.
Fill in your holes, take your trash.
If you want to do it. We're not tattletales. We're not those guys either. So, but
my biggest pet
that's
peeve
not
is
for us.
Finding holes left open.
Gosh, yeah. That's
Or trash laying on the ground. You could tell there was a dig hole there and they just left the chunk of iron right there. And it's like
previous people,
and you're like, man, a farmer's going to hit that with their plow,
we see, and we see that a lot at paid digs, even at the DIV digs. There's lots of guys that will, it's one thing to leave a bent nail in a hole, but when you leave a 4 foot or 8 foot chunk of chain, sticking halfway out of a hole, a farmer's going to come through, and when he wraps that up on his axle, he's like, well, I've gone through here 100 million times. This has never happened.
Yeah.
We just had a dig last month. Maybe that's the reason. Then they stop things like that. They do. So you got to take your trash out.
Yeah.
Or at least take it to a fence.
Yeah.
That's why I tell guys, if it's super heavy, hang it off a fence,
Yeah.
take it to the fence, take it into the woods. The farmer will thank you because his equipment doesn't run there. He doesn't run over his fences. He doesn't run through his trees usually.
Right.
Depending on guess what.
How about
Virginia?
Yeah.
How about any U.S. or Confederate plates?
No, just that wreath. No plates. I have and this goes into the why we need to all dig and why we need to be allowed to dig, because when you when you dig on these farms, things get destroyed. So here was my first plate at DIV 50, correct? My second hole of the morning is a half of a U.S. belt buckle that you can see got destroyed by years of farming.
Oh my gosh.
Still,
But
dude,
but
though,
I'm still
Patrick,
super happy to have it.
you're holding it in your hand right now, dude.
Yeah.
I love it.
Last person that had that thing, buddy.
But I tell people, let us out and let us dig now, because if this got hit 2 or 3 more times, you might have just found bits of lead and not known what it was.
Even on
the back. But then the very next dig at Beauregard, what was it, a year and a half later, I found my first and only breastplate.
Wow.
See the eagle?
Yeah.
Yep. Oh yeah, there it is.
It's
wow,
folded,
that thing's
just
really
like its hangs are
mangled.
closed,
Folded,
so that's
yeah.
pretty neat. But
That's
you
very
can
cool.
tell it definitely got damaged by the plows.
Led back, yeah, very
But
cool.
still
man.
super happy to have it.
Yeah.
And both from Beauregard, both from the front field there. They call it. There's one guy calls it his field of dreams because he's found like 7 plates there.
Yeah. That still eluded me.
Yeah.
A buckle plate. I haven't gotten into one yet.
Yeah.
Someday, man.
But also,
I'm
but
the
also
master of button backs.
Joe's dug 2 real.
Well, yeah.
Right.
And he's also dug how many colonial coppers are you up to now? 9 or 10,
9 or 10.
And I haven't found one. And all this, I have a maybe here of a Virginia halfpenny, because Joe's that you can see the what is it? The cross on the back of his, and it's the exact same size, and I found it on the same property, so we're gonna go with that. But I don't have any detail, and I don't have any of the big ones. But I do have my first cob sitting here, though.
Oh yeah.
Oh wait, we're gonna have to pop it out. Glares.
The glare. They're horrible.
It's that plastic. They don't think of it.
Explain to people what a cob is, Patrick.
So a cob is, and this one doesn't have enough detail to tell the date, but we're going to safely say it's 1600s. But this is a hammered piece of silver, and this one is Spanish specifically. So
It's just a piece, right? There you go. Oh, nice.
See the cross on it? Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, it's got a cross. The other side's pretty much blank, but gosh, did it ring? Oh, it just rings. They just ring so good. And that same day I found this one, Joe's on a few rows over on their corn rows that are chopped pretty low, but he's a couple rows over and goes, "Hey, I got 90 something here." It's like, "Man, that sounds so good." And he kicks the ground. He's like, "Oh, I see it." And he dug a cob bigger than this one, and he kicked it out of the dirt.
It was laying on top of the dirt.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. Looking up at the sun.
But those are the only 2 we found on that whole property, and they were right near each other, which is kind of crazy.
God, you just think about where that came from and
right.
Like, who was holding that? What were they doing with it?
Right.
Why is it on the ground?
Well, yeah, I can't say our last property because we've still hit it, but
we're still hitting it.
Yeah, we're still hitting it. But I've gotten 7 cut silver, 2 cobs. That's it for silver, and I got a large cent. You got
a few more than that, but
yeah.
But the craziest thing is the variety that we have found of like cut things. This was my most recent find. Let's see if we can get it in there.
Oh, the Danish?
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched that video today.
Oh, wow. 12 skilling.
Yes. 1716. I have the date side. But what's crazy about it is that I still think that the person that was cutting this coin or letting this coin be cut knew that their coin wasn't full silver, because this coin is only 0.562. So it's a little more than half silver. And if they were cutting it, I'm guessing they skipped town pretty quick from each town to town.
Yeah.
This Danish guy probably had a pocket full of these.
Probably did. He's like,
I told Joe, it's probably like Rockefellers or something now, like
yeah, right.
how they started in the country.
They were smart. We started
bag of these.
They look just like your silver coins.
Yeah.
Right. One side's the back side is actually kind of green though, like a copper coin.
Oh yeah, it is. Look at that.
So one side is silver.
Yeah.
And after
that's,
years,
that's the side you show the merchant.
Exactly.
The silver side.
Money.
I got money. There you go.
How many cuts did you get from that?
I count real quick. 10 and a couple cobs.
10. He got 10 cut. I got 7. I got 2 cobs. He got 2 cobs.
And someone's been in the landowner tells us it's been in their family since the early 1900s. And of course, the history goes back to late 1600s. But there were people that they let detect before. So we don't.
Wow.
She said that they didn't always show her everything, and they really weren't interested. The farm was really busy back then, so it was.
But that's the same permission that I got the half real, the 2 real in the same day. You got a 1 real that day. And then we just brought 2 guys with us. We've been trying to put a
and Joe. And that day when I got that 1 real, I will say this too. I only got that. Joe would have been the 3 coin king that day. He would have dug a half real, a 1 real, and a 2 real.
Oh my gosh!
He got the half real signal in the morning, and about midday he got an amazing signal again, and he gave it to me because he goes, "Hey, dig this. This is you. Come dig this." And I was still shocked. It was on edge, and it was my first hold silver. So thanks to Joe.
I got to dig with Joe.
We got to dig with Joe. So we gotta dig.
Well, I mean, we'll share signals. There's just some days I'll start off and Pat's on fire and I'm in a slump.
I'm like, hey, dig this.
And he's like, hey, come over here. Come listen to this. And I'm, oh, yeah, that sounds good. And it's like, dig it, man. It's yours. And I'm like, that could be silver.
That's a digging partner right there, man.
Yeah,
it's a digging partner right there.
It could also be a bird tag.
Yeah. My first cut silver, he gave me the signal.
Yep.
Jeez.
Yep.
We have a digging partner named Beth that we used to dig with. She moved out of state, but we were digging a cavalry camp, a small cavalry camp that we found, and she was finding all these star carbine bullets, and
big
big star carbine
dropped
bullets
everywhere.
So she would.
I've only dug one of those.
I'd hear her and she'd be like, I got another one. You could hear, we leave our headphones off so everyone can hear our tones, so we go, oh, you better dig that, that sounds good and stuff like that. So she found like 4 or 5 of them, and I'd never found any Civil War era period bullets there. I'd found a button and some other stuff, and she got another signal and she did the same thing you did. Ken, come here. I want to see you dig your first Civil War era bullet. And I did. I heard what it sounded like. And even though I didn't discover it all on my own, it was still so exciting.
Oh yeah. I mean,
and know where it came from.
For sure.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
but that same property where we found all that, we put together a little hunt with 2 of our buddies, and it was just 2 weeks ago, and they both got a cob off the same property. They both each got that was 2 more cobs.
And I'll say this: we realized after that we thought we were doing well with our Deus 2s, but the mats showed us some setting changes and then showed us some targets because we knew it wasn't dug out yet. We knew we still had a lot of work to do there, but they shocked us with the amount of things found. And I had never physically seen a 2 real cob dug and watched Matt Owl dig it live. I mean. Wow. That was amazing. And watch him dig it live, and watch a guy like that, after you've seen what he's dug, throw his gloves down, throw his headphones, and just spin around in a circle and go. To me, that's what it's all about. Regardless of who's fishing or what it is, it's just watching anyone get excited about it. And that's why I was just saying this last year when I went to Liberty Hall. That morning, I spent that morning at Liberty Hall helping like a 12-year-old boy and his sister find their first Civil War bullets. And later that afternoon, I come out with my first and only Revolutionary War relic from a site that's nowhere near the Revolutionary War. The only connection is the guy who lived there at the hall. He served in the Revolutionary War and had to have brought it home with him. Wow. I mean, that's the only way I could think it got there.
Wow, man, that's crazy. Hey, guys, we got about 5 minutes left. Let's go to a fast round with you both. Let's start talking about favorite finds of all time, man. Joe, I'm going to go to you first. Let me hear it. Favorite find of all time.
VMI cadet button.
Oh my gosh. I had him bring it.
Yeah.
I'll hold it up for you. Now, this isn't just the VMI cadet button. This is the high dome VMI cadet button.
Oh, wow.
Like the sought after.
That's Virginia Military Institute cadet button, right?
Yes.
Look at that.
Right here.
Holy
cow. Let me get the flashlight on this one. Sorry if I blind you. Oh, wait. We have to do it from a distance. Oh, there it is. Can you see it?
Wow. Yeah.
Probably not. That didn't work.
Very cool.
Sorry, I blinded everybody.
That's awesome, man.
But it's nice. It's loaded with gold.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
That is insane.
That's probably one of my favorite finds.
Yeah. And was it something, again, I always want, when Tony and I find something that we've never found before, a lot of times we don't know what it is. We're like, we know it's something, but we don't know exactly what it is. Were you the same way, Joe, or did you know immediately what that was? It actually says on it, right?
As soon as I pulled it out, I saw the VMI, and
he yelled VMI, and then we came over to him, and then he's cleaning it. He goes, it says cadet on top. What does that mean? And then then the crazy part about that find is too, the guy whose probably button it was is buried on the property. CSA, the headstone's there, name, everything.
Oh my God.
It was either him or one of his buddies that came to see him after he, passed away.
Wow.
Yeah,
which is kind of crazy.
But that's probably one of my better finds. I love that button.
What about you, Patrick?
Oh, favorite all-time find.
Uh-oh.
Probably have to give it.
He's going to the wall.
Just because it made the cover of a magazine.
Oh, look at that.
And that's my photograph that made the cover of the magazine.
American did. Look at
that. Just a couple minutes after I dug it, the sun was just rising over the trees, and it was about 20 degrees outside.
Okay, now explain that to our listeners.
So this is a heel plate off of probably someone's shoe. Could have been a woman, could have been a man, but it has a heart shape in the middle, and there's just a folklore behind the heart shape that it would point the way to, where the woman you were looking for had been walking.
Oh, actually,
but, there's lots of different. There was no light, but they would have carried a lantern. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Still pretty neat.
Right.
Pretty cool. Was a first for me. And then when I submitted it to American Digger, and I got a message from him later saying, "I think you're going to be happy with what we did with it."
Oh, yeah,
and then
very cool.
I'm like, "Oh, why?" And then I saw the post, and then I realized when I went and picked up the magazine, as soon as I walked into the picket post downtown Fredericksburg, and I saw them all sitting on the rack, and I went, "Oh, it's the cover!
It's the cover!
I made the cover."
So, for that alone, that's my all-time favorite.
Amen.
Adventure
Yeah,
in
that's a
Life
great
said it's
find.
the lover's boot plate. That's so cool, man. I hadn't heard the folklore. I knew it was special. I mean, people love finding those things all the time.
But it's also probably more likely because there was a heart, there was a club, there's a spade, there's a diamond.
Yeah.
So I think it had maybe more to do with gambling than ladies of the night. But still,
Gotcha. Well, shoot,
it's all
Pretty
about
cool, man.
figuring it out anyway.
Yeah.
So
all right. Another fast round for you guys. Joe, bucket list. What's number one on your bucket list?
Civil War buckle all day. That's one of the reasons why I go to the DIVs to hang out with Pat and Matt and all them, but that's the top of my bucket list for Civil War buckle.
Okay, we're gonna be watching for it.
Confederate or Union, I don't care. Just I want a buckle.
What about you, Pat?
I would say gold coin, and probably specifically gold coin, probably like Civil War year. So like a soldier's pay.
Yeah, soldier's pay.
Mm-hmm. Not wishing from the future that someone, probably had a very bad week, but losing that gold coin, but really wanting to find one would be amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So Tony and I have been lucky enough. Each of us have found one. I found one real close to that cavalry camp we talked about. Mm-hmm. It was a $1, 1851, $1.
Oh wow, yeah. So that was
that's awesome.
And definitely had to be part of their pay. We found 1840s 10-back Navy buttons, right at the same land plot. It's 3 of them at the same land plot. We don't know what they were doing there.
That's pretty cool.
That is really cool.
That's amazing.
It was cool. And then Tony found his also at a different site, but he found a
military camp, 1852. $5.
Still military, so somebody's money,
Dalagana, what was it? Dalanaga? What was the Georgia Mint?
Georgia Mint, yeah. Oh, 1844. I'm sorry, 1844. There was.
Here's his older Tony. Yep, you win. No, I'm just kidding.
40.
Joe and I do that.
We do that all the time. Like, damn it, you won.
It's a low mintage coin. Yeah, so $5 coin. It's actually worth it.
Yeah, that's cool. That's awesome.
Got lucky.
Yeah.
Got lucky.
So it's been really great having you guys on the show. I'll tell you that.
Man, we appreciate it. We love talking about
you're right.
Didn't it go fast? My gosh.
Yeah, I know. I was like, I know we still got at least a half hour.
Relics,
right?
This could be a 5-6 hour show.
Yeah,
I know.
We have to have you back on. There's so much more.
We'd love to.
We'd love to come back.
I'll tell you what, we'll give you guys your last say. Just you want to say anything to the people listening or watching tonight, and then we'll put you in the green room, and then we'll say our goodbyes off the air. You okay with that?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yours.
I would just say it's never too late to start. If you're watching this and you haven't been out yet and you have a machine or you're thinking about getting a machine, get one. You know what I mean? Do your research, talk to the landowners, be respectful. Don't be afraid to knock. Get used to hearing the word no. But I'll tell you, one yes makes up for 15 no's though, because when you get that first yes, it's an amazing feeling.
After 10 or 15 no's,
Yep.
and then you start getting yeses,
Yep.
it just gets easier and
Yep.
easier.
And like I said, fill in your holes and take your trash. You know what I mean? Like, just be respectful of the landowners are letting you on their property, so be respectful to them.
That's it.
Great.
That's it. I mean, I don't
That's
think
it.
that's pretty much what I was going to say. So, Joe, you pretty much covered it. That's it.
Well, everyone, make sure you go check out.
Yeah,
Have
fun. Have
and
fun.
Make friends
Yeah.
and take advice.
Yeah.
Take advice. The thing I did in the beginning was I'd act like, oh, I know what I'm doing. I've watched the videos. I've watched Aqua. Since then, it's just no. I'll shut up some if I can, because usually I can't. But try to shut up, and I'll just try to listen and take advice and let other people talk and try to. That's something I gotta work on. It's like, let other people talk.
Yeah.
A little bit.
But yeah. Great. Love detecting. Can't wait till tomorrow morning.
I know, man.
Yeah,
I'm
hey,
like
best
afraid
of
I'm
luck,
Christmas
man.
right now.
Digging in
Yeah,
Virginia 58. You guys have a
tomorrow
blast.
morning. We're headed west. We got the soundtrack ready. We'll play Joe's Footloose.
Hey, man.
Then we're gonna play Highway
Good
to the
luck
Danger
music.
Zone.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good luck music
Nice.
every IV.
Well, Patrick, you and I have been chatting on Facebook Messenger, so you just send me pictures, man. I want pictures.
Oh, I
Yeah.
will.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I will.
Definitely.
I will
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
For sure. Thanks.
So,
We've already gained, and we're already up to 980. It looks like.
Yep. Cool. We'll get you there.
Awesome.
We'll keep going. We
Appreciate
got plenty of people listening
Yeah.
to the audio here in the next couple of weeks. Make sure you guys go check out the Shank is Attack, even though Matt Howell gone digging says, please unsubscribe from Patrick, because Joe's okay. He chooses Joe's okay, but he chooses bad company. That's good, Matt.
Wait,
We're
we're gonna poison,
We could've-
poison his rap snap.
Yeah.
Chips this weekend.
his wrap snacks. Oh my gosh, I laughed my butt off on those
We're
wrap.
trying to get. We got to
We're
get
trying to
sponsored.
get Matt tried to get sponsored by them, and they kind of ignored him. So we're gonna make it happen. We're putting it into fruition.
Do
Every
it.
video, we're gonna have a chip test.
You guys don't know what wrap snacks are. You got to go check them out, man.
Yeah, potato chip.
Guys, listen, everyone go check out the Shank is Intact, both on YouTube and Facebook. Tony has gone ahead and put the links in there. We're going to put the link down below in the description of the podcast and the live stream here. Go check them out. If you like what they're doing, give them a subscribe. Say you saw them on Relics Radio and you're there to give them some support. They put out some great content, and you can tell from their camaraderie on the screen here tonight that they do it the right way, that they're our people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're definitely like us.
You guys are definitely our people.
Yeah,
That's for sure.
So we appreciate it. Guys, thanks for coming on.
Thank you guys.
Thanks for
Thank you
having
so
us.
much. It was
Fine.
nice meeting you guys.
Go get the good stuff tomorrow, guys. Go
We're
get the
hoping
good
for it,
stuff.
man.
Bye-bye.
We appreciate it.
Thanks so much.
Best of luck. We'll see you in a bit. Wow, dude. What do you I don't know what to say.
Way, right? Blows me away. Just the passion to me after the last hour and a half,
Yeah.
the passion comes through, the motivation comes through. I'm ready to go detect because of those guys. I'm telling you,
I totally Maybe
there
I-
are kind of people.
I need to change
Holy
my
crap.
plans this weekend.
I know, right?
Honey.
If we leave right now,
Yeah. We could be in Virginia by not that long. Our wives know we're gonna just always ditch them.
I know
Go
they
dig in
they
the
know.
dirt somewhere.
They know.
Oh,
What a
man.
great show, though. I love those guys.
was.
Incredible content. Holy crap. So
Great relics, great stories, willing to share. You could just, the way they get along with each other reminds me of some people I know. Just, very like-minded, even though they're states and states and states away, in a completely different relic rich environment than we're in, but still they were telling stories tonight that I heard and know that goes on in England. You know what I mean? Like there's such similarity between detectorists that doesn't really matter where you're at in this world. We all share that camaraderie and that passion. When you're really into it, you're really into it. Yeah.
Absolutely love it.
Yeah. So great, man. Thanks for those guys coming on. Go ahead, Tony. What do you got going on?
I got a new
cool
series.
hat. You got a really cool hat on.
Yeah, check that out. Some stuff coming up on this. Got a cool series going on 5280 Adventures called Trivia with 5280. You guys show up, give me some support on Sunday nights. We have a great time. It's a trivia quiz show. I've got a whole bunch of people from the metal detecting community that are guests with us, and we just hang out. We talk about trivia. You're going to learn something, and then we talk about metal detecting, and it's just kind of like a really low key kind of thing. But you're definitely going to have a good time. There's always an incredible time going on in the live chat. So if you guys are listening after the fact here, come join me Sunday night. So we have such a great time, and I really enjoy doing it. I love to see y'all there and interacting with you guys too. So.
And it's fun. It's fun being a contestant on the show too. So yeah, show up in the live chat and see if you're smarter than all of us on the panel.
That's right.
Most of the time they are. Most of the time the chat definitely is. I think all the
chat's good.
The panelists like what we're like. I mean, normally there's a lot of the times we get like 5 or 6 out of 10 questions right.
Right.
Which means there's a bunch of them that are pretty hard. So Tony, you're doing a good job of pulling good questions. And maybe you learned that people in the chat have said they've learned some things or two.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. So it's a good time for sure.
What about you? What you got going on?
I got my Adventures in Dirt stuff. So you can find me over on all the social media really, but lately I've been active on YouTube, posting videos on Adventures in Dirt on YouTube. I have a weekly show that goes back a number of years called The Weekly Dirt, where I feature you and everyone else's finds. I'll kind of do a compilation video where I show the interesting things I've seen being dug out there in the community. I put it all together in one compilation thing so you can gain motivation and inspiration to go out and find your treasures. It's called The Weekly Dirt. I try to get them out every Sunday. It's been a couple of months since I put one out. But I do have some personal digging videos out right now. You can go check it out. Watch me and Tony dig and me and my other digging partners. And I hope you enjoy it. But other than that, have yourself a great time this weekend. If you're able to get out, be safe. Go find the good stuff and make sure you tell Tony and I about it. But we'll see you next Thursday with a great guest here on Relics Radio for sure.
Thank you so much for listening to Relics Radio. We will see you back here next week for another exciting guest. Until then, get out and dig it all.